Though Azeroth was saved, Azeroth was saved, Azeroth was saved.
Azeroth was saved.
Okay, this is just me setting up the multi-boxer, so I'm changing to Burning Crusade as my client of choice, so we'll update our profile path. And I've just logged into the server and created the 4 accounts that were our original bot name. So I'm going to use the term bot, multi-boxer, other character, all completely as I want. They aren't actually bots. Okay, a bot or a robot is something that on its own carries out a set of commands you give it with no other input. So it decides what it's going to do when it comes across a problem. It decides how to deal with a situation. So the classic from my youth, when I first learned about computing, was in factories people would draw on the floor a set of lines of colours and certain patterns, and the robots would follow these lines and go to a destination. So I've got Droid 1, Droid 2, Droid 3 and Droid 4, and the multi-boxer actually had started to take on variances. So we have a type of priest, a type of mage, and a type of warlock, all ranged casters. The multi-boxer did not support melee assistance for the tank yet, and I obviously always played the main tank. And how it worked was I would press buttons on the number pad, and that would send corresponding key presses to the rest of the keyboard as far as the other clients were concerned. So I might set the number pad 8, 2, 4 and 6 to be W, S, A and D, so that as I press 8 down in the numpad, all the characters would walk forward, and as I press 2, all the characters would walk backwards. That wasn't actually that useful, because they might all be looking in different directions, they might all be looking at the sky. So the first thing I did was create in-game macros, which is not anything special. Everybody with any GUI could have done this. The game itself lets you do this. And I would create a macro that said /target somebody and /follow in an action bar on the game. Again, absolutely anything anyone could do. So it might be an action slot, action bar 1, slot 7. I would then make my press of 1 on the numpad go to all the clients as switch to action bar 1, which is actually shift and 1, and then press 7. So they would all receive shift 1, 7. Not a set of instructions. They would not be sent the whole text of /target whoever /follow. It just sent change to action bar 1, press 7. That's all it does. It does not think. It does not make a decision on its own. So those robots that followed a line on the floor, if there was a break in the line, an obstacle in the way, a human in the way, they would have to detect that and deal with that. These bots do not do that. They are dumb. They are just extra puppets on my string. I am doing everything for them. So though I call them bots, they are not botting. They are acting as I see fit. They are puppets to my string. So they are not doing things of their own accord. They are not intelligent. There is zero artificial intelligence here. In the old days of WoW, we obviously had products like Glider, and Glider would monitor memory offsets for targets, potential position in the world, the health of the target, how to loot them. These do not do that. They cannot loot. They cannot go and see anything. They do not inspect anything inside the game. And I don't intend to do that. That's not what this is about. So this is the server running. It's running as a virtual machine right now. This is my development version. So you'll see this is the staging server. This is where we will be performing any and all coding changes to the server, changing them, building it, and actually sending it down to the main server, which is downstairs. This is the multi-boxer code. We won't go into too much of this code. Suffice to say, there is a profile in XML, and I can load that XML in C++, and from this I do certain things. So I actually wrote the multiboxer for Runes of Magic originally, though I've not played Runes of Magic in a long time. You tell it how many clients there are. Now, this may be a bit defunct, I can't remember, but because it may just use the number of account details or a number of entries in the account details collection, we then decide whether we're going to auto log on or not. This does. Well, one is a true for this, and these are the logons. So each account detail, I'll just leave one open, lives inside account details, and all it has is the username and password to use and the client type that is. This was going to be all fleshed out with some sort of profile of its own, so we could have a profile for an ice mage and a fire mage, profiles for I don't know, this is a holy priest, but we could have a resto priest. I thought the same for warlock. We're going to have a destruction warlock or a demonology warlock. This is actually, I believe, a demonology warlock that I had. The characters that we had were all played from, unfortunately, 0 to 10 by hand. We had horrible gear, and then we started work on dead mines. We ran dead mines at least 10 times. All the casters got the wand at the end. I actually put the black Defiance gear on the tank because it was better than what he was wearing for a while, so he was tanking in leather. We didn't try stockades, we just didn't. We then did teleport to Shadowfang Keep and did Shadowfang Keep. This is the new build of the multiboxer. It does all work. Some of this code will go through, some of it we won't. It's stuff that I have purposefully created. I know this sounds awful, but because I've been demonetized on YouTube, if you are interested in this code, I may sell it. It depends on the interest I have in it. But right now it's not in a fit state to be sold. It's just horrible. All this is completely and utterly, to be ignored right now, because our job today, if I get the J drive open, is to go in here, and I can't remember where the settings are, but we're going to turn on the settings and create our characters. This was our config, wasn't it? Yes. So in here I beated the sound. I can't even see it. Sound enabled 1. Okay. Actually, I don't even know if it's got the same IP address. Yeah, it did. Okay, so and droid 1 is a human priest. I don't like human priests that much. The best priest I ever met was a Mountain priest, so priest was probably so the best priest I ever know was he was a European gentleman. I don't know exactly what I was going to say. More the Baltic, no, not Baltic, more the Eastern Bloc state, ex-Eastern Bloc states, I believe, Estonia, Greece, all that. He was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So let's go for name. Now we're going to quickly play
For 10,000 years, the immortal Night Elves cultivated a druidic society within the shadowed recesses of Ashenvale Forest. Yet recently, the catastrophic invasion of the Burning Legion shattered the tranquility of their ancient civilization. Led by the Archdruid Malfurion Stormrage and the priestess Tyrande Whisperwind, the mighty Night Elves rose to challenge the demonic onslaught. Though victorious, the Night Elves were forced to sacrifice their cherished immortality and watch their beloved forests burn. Seeking to regain their immortality, a number of wayward druids conspired to plant a special tree that would link their spirits to the eternal world. Despite Malfurion's warnings that nature would never bless such a selfish act, the druids planted the great tree Teldrassil off the stormy coasts of northern Kalimdor. Within the twilight boughs of the colossal tree, the wondrous city of Darnassus took root. However, the great tree was not consecrated with nature's blessing, and soon fell prey to the corruption of the Burning Legion. Now the wildlife, and even the limbs of the great tree itself, are tainted by a growing darkness. As one of the few Night Elves still left in the world, it is your sworn duty to defend Darnassus and the wild children of nature against the Legion's encroaching corruption.
$67 or something. They were very expensive to run because of the constantly needing water.
Not enough mana.
Oh, that's a bit of a bug. Let's see what's there. Let's see what happens. Right, it's not doing it. So, he's not doing it again, but I'm sure.
Goddess, watch over me.
Right, now. So there we go. Shadowglen. And what we're going to do is just have a look if that character has got the right level. So select name, so we describe characters. So select name, level, characters. Characters, not characters. Oh. So these are the characters on the database. There's Gehalis we just created. That was Shenanigans, who showed in the preview you saw. Alamea is my hunter. Prior is a different priest. Zealous is holding my main name. Blackthorn is holding one of my main characters' names. Metavalis is another one of my main characters' names. So I had Ilamea, or Ilame, followed by Ilamea as a pair of hunters. Literally I played two, one on the PvE server, one on the PvP. Zealous was always my main warrior, my first character, first to level 60, all that kind of jazz. A lot of history there with him. Blackthorn was my PvP mage. We kicked ass on that character, absolutely kicked ass. Did a lot of PvP on Alamea as well as a hunter. And Metavalis was the last character I played, which was a druid in Burning Crusade, and we went to Black Temple, did all the raids there. Really loved the druid in Burning Crusade. Did start Wrath with Metavalis, just basically soloing it, just solo content with that. So there's how the database stands. I am going to cover some of the code I'm going to do for looking at the database and inspecting it. We're going to write most of that in Python with Flask as a web front end. So we're going to cover some more about this next time, and lots about the real server, and the rest of the droids will be played a little bit. We may play one of them as a human starting area, maybe the mage. And that's it for this very long play, guys. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.